The myth of a flood, a giant cataclysm that plunged the world into darkness, could be found in many ancient civilizations, including the ancient Egyptian civilization, ancient Greek, ancient Mexico, ancient South America, Mesopotamia, and even in the ancient Pacific cultures and civilizations. Yet, the story in the ancient Egyptian civilization has huge similarities with the biblical story of Noah's Ark. Even in the name of the main character in the ancient Egyptian civilization, it's almost exactly the same. It is Nu or Noah. There are some significant similarities between the biblical story of Noah's Ark and the dynastic ancient Egyptian story and inscription of their god Nu that couldn't go unnoticed. Let's explore the story of Nu and open a door for further research. Nu in ancient Egyptian mythology refers to the primordial waters that existed before the creation of the world. These waters were seen as the source of all life and represented the chaotic and formless state from which the universe emerged. Nu was a personification of the waters and was often depicted as a vast, dark, and limitless expanse, usually shown as a male deity with green or blue skin, symbolizing the water's life-giving properties. The concept of Nu played a significant role in Egyptian cosmology and creation myth. According to some versions of the creation story, the universe was believed to have arisen from the primeval waters of Nu. The first land, called the Benben, emerged from the waters, and on this mound the creator deity, Adam or Adam Ra, appeared to bring order to the chaotic waters and create the world. In Egyptian art and religious symbolism, Nu was often depicted in scenes of creation or in conjunction with the solar journey of the sun god Ra. Nu was considered the cosmic ocean through which the solar bark or ship of Ra traveled during the day and through the journey in the underworld at night. And we have some depictions showing Nu lifting the solar bark or ship with the newborn sun from the waters of creation. As the personification of the primordial waters, Nu was closely linked to the goddess Nut, the sky, who was often depicted as a female figure arching over the earth, symbolizing the separation of the waters of Nu from the earth. The concept of Nu represented the fundamental aspect of creation and the eternal potential for life. It signified the origin and sustenance of life, as well as the cyclical nature of creation where life emerged from the waters and returned to them. The worship of Nu wasn't as prominent as that of other major gods and goddesses in ancient Egypt. Still, the concept of the primordial waters and its association with creation and the life force held deep significance in Egyptian religious beliefs and cosmology. And I want to discuss how Nu was written in hieroglyphs. As I always highlight, hieroglyphs wasn't an ancient Egyptian language. It was one of the ways the ancient Egyptian language was written. Let's start by clarifying some stuff about hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs is not a language, it's a method of writing invented and used by ancient Egyptians in the dynastic era. Hieroglyphs is not an alphabet in the sense that we know now. The alphabet as we recognize it today was developed about 1,400 years after the hieroglyphs were developed. The hieroglyphic script was built with three elements: signs that represent words, logographs, unread signs that represent ideas, determinatives, signs that represent constants or combinations of constants. The ancient Egyptians didn't write vowels. Some ancient Egyptian sounds are not present in the English and Latin languages. So basically, some sounds were lost in translation. Some words and names were Latinized, like the famous Uzir or Ozair or Ozair became Osiris, noting that most of the ancient Egyptian sounds, if not all, are present in the Arabic language, the current Arabic language. Some hieroglyphs could be read as a single sound. The second type is biliteral signs, and the third type describes more than two consonants. Hieroglyphs are mostly read from top to bottom, but sometimes you start on the left side, like in English, and sometimes on the right, like in Arabic. The animals, birds, or people used in hieroglyphs always face the beginning of the sentence, so that tells you where to start. So let's look at these two names for two ancient Egyptian deities. That one right here on the left is translated as Nut, while the second one on the right here is translated as Nun or Nu. The question is why? Clearly, the one titled Figure 40 has more information than Figure 39. Why would we read Figure 39 as Nut and Figure 40 as Nun or Nu? Actually, Figure 40 looks more like a sentence rather than a single name, right? Now let's decode it. These three signs right here on top of each other means water or liquid related action. So if it comes single, sometimes it's read as N. This sign right here means sky or above, right? Then this sign right here could be read as an N, and when it comes with another symbol could indicate a vowel or more. So these three right here could indicate an N with one or two vowels. And as mentioned, ancient Egyptians didn't write vowels, so usually we don't know which vowels they meant. This one right here is an identifier added to the word or sentence in the New Kingdom to identify that they are talking about a man. So they drew the name of Nu like that in the New Kingdom, while it was originally drawn like that. It's worth mentioning that Noah's name is pronounced in Arabic Nuh, 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 and the H sound, the H, is the sixth letter in the Arabic alphabet, which doesn't have a similar phonetic in English or Latin languages. Even the phonetics of the vowel waw in Nuh is neither exactly a U sound, nor an O sound, nor an OA sound. So if the ancient Egyptian pronunciation of the name was close to the Arabic pronunciation, Nuh, 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 it would have been justified not to find the same phonetics when Latinizing the name and assigning an OAH for it, so now we're pronouncing it as Nuah, while it is originally Nuh. So when it became Latinized, it changed from Nuh to Nuah. This could be another case of a lost in translation name, just like Uzir and Osiris. Decoding of the name drawn Nu or Nuh will indicate that this is likely to be a full sentence, telling us about a special man who has a divine connection or connection to the forces of nature. He has something to do with a water-related action related to the god of the skies and earth. It's important to know that the word nature, written as NTR and pronounced as nature in ancient Egypt, is often mistakenly translated as god or deity. While it didn't mean necessarily god or deity in ancient Egypt, it actually had several meanings, and some of these meanings, somebody who's connected to the forces of nature. Actually, its initial use was forces of nature, and some people say that the word nature in English comes from nature. And it's important also to know that some of the deities of the ancient dynastic Egyptian civilization were actually kings and significant characters in the pre-dynastic ancient Egyptian civilization. And gradually they shifted to be half gods or half deities or even full gods and deities. or just simply people who are sacred or somehow connected to nature or considered as characters with significant importance. You can find more interesting details about the ancient Egyptian story of Noah or Nuh in my book, The Predynastic Kings and the Pyramids of Egypt.